aka Petersen. Here we go. We're talking enemy mine. This is, and I was just having this conversation yesterday. This could be a top 5 science fiction movie of all time, depending on how you classify science fiction movies. I'm your host. This is AKAPAD's Audio Audacity podcast. I'm Peter A. DeLuca, aka across the webs, across the interwebs, the social media. I'm also known as the pop culture pope, spicy taco, roast beef sandwich, world sketchbook champion, the creator of Uzi Suzy, the Wolfpack, and Trial by Fire. These are all things you can learn about at akapad.com. That is my website. So we're still talking about Wolfgang Petersen. I had this big discussion with a very close friend of mine, this guy named John. I work with him. We were working at separate IT companies on the same projects. He's now, the last 2 years or so, he's been on our team. I literally love talking to this guy. So I was just explaining to him, and I'm going to do it to you because I open every single one of these Wolfgang Petersen episodes the same way. Why the fuck? I can curse, right? This is my show. I can curse. But why the fuck is no one concerned or upset or just thrown aback that we lost Wolfgang Petersen, the director of some of these movies that are staples in the genres that they exist in? Outbreak, arguably the greatest virus movie of all time. Air Force One, the greatest your president as a action hero movie of all time. Troy, it's there as one of the top interpretations of Greek mythology ever. Poseidon, we're going to talk about that in episode 485. One of the best remakes of all time. Das Boot, the greatest submarine movie. Never-Ending Story, the greatest children's movie of all time. In the Line of Fire, maybe the best assassination movie of all time. One of the best gimmicks, the gun gimmick in that. I still talk about it. And we have this movie. And this movie is beautiful. Enemy Mine, 1985. This movie is so beautiful. And let me explain. We're in 1985. We're spending $30 million, which is it's there. It's a good budget. But this movie looks like and feels like it's 1985 from the opening frame. But we begin with the science fiction space dogfight. 2 alien vessels crash landing on a world we've already witnessed loss. Meaning friends have died in the first couple minutes of this movie, and there's an anger. And Randy Quaid in a fantastic performance. Louis Gossett Jr. is our alien, by the way. But we're thrown into exactly that. We're thrown into this alien environment, this alien war. And it just begins, it begins and you have to stick with it. And this is a part of this slow disconnect that happens with older movies when we're younger, we'll say. Those of you out there that are younger. But even me, because you absorb so much that's new, it's difficult. It's difficult to put yourself back to where when you're watching something, you have to kind of imagine what it was like during the time. And this is a difficult feat. It's not exactly easy. So we get all of these awesome science fiction tropes in this. The cool thing is the alien race are both male and female. So they die off and they give birth, which we do witness. And along the way, we're given a complete science fiction arc, meaning we see alien slave mines, we see an alien dogfight, we see an alien world, we see alien wildlife, we see alien technology, we see an alien culture and way of life, and we see space stations and medic bays and observation towers. This is what makes this movie so unique and so much fun. And this is where it deserves a science fiction classification of its own because of what we see. We see it all, and it's there, and it's there enough. Like GE, it's there good enough. Now, during the day, this was thrilling. I remember my parents saying and talking about this movie. Like this was a movie you had to go see, and there was like somewhat of a conversation of this time about it being like a plot twist. I don't know, everyone. I love it. I love it so much. I can't recommend this movie enough for all of you. And a little bit of like where we go with the plot is Dennis Quaid, our reformed murdering guy, killed the enemy soldier, but our reformed soldier who learns to love the enemy because, again, that's a part of the story. The son that this creature has gets kidnapped. And it's like we go from like being rescued, breaking away from the space station, going back to the alien world, killing the slave drivers, and then flying off into the sea of stars. And this is what I mean. There's few science fiction movies that add so much in 108 minutes. That's what makes this movie so much fun and so thrilling. And we want to talk about like how we classify science fiction movie. Calling something like Star Wars science fantasy, it's not like uncommon. You don't get a lot of pushback, but this is almost the tier of science fiction movies. We have 2001, and you got to put 2001 and 2002 together. It's really weird that people don't smash those two movies together. But then we have The Matrix, and then it could be this movie. And The Matrix is up there because, yes, it does deal with real science, real philosophy, real metaphysics, like all of these things, okay, which makes The Matrix equally enjoyable. But this movie has a human element. It has a want, it has a longing, there's a desperation. You root for the characters, you root for these people to get owned, to get shot, to get killed. Slave drivers, I'm looking at you. But you hope that people come out on top. And Enemy Mine does it all with every single science fiction trope, every single science fiction visual you could jam into a movie at this era. I also would argue that the intelligence of the production, meaning what we went through while making the movie, the time frame. We're going to have this, we're going to have that, we're going to show this off. It goes through these tiers of just visual, okay? The visual tiers is what I'm talking about. And that amongst itself is amazingly impressive for a director to nail, because you're shooting indoor, you're shooting outdoor, you're shooting on mats, you're shooting on delicate sets, you're shooting on limited sets, you're shooting actors doing big sequences in makeup. You're putting a child. Let's not forget the child alien in this movie is in full makeup on their lights all day. The more you dig into this movie, the more it reveals itself. It's got to be the third. I mean, it's the third greatest science fiction movie of all. It really is. AKA Petersen. I cannot recommend this movie enough. Enemy Mine, Wolfgang Petersen. Now, and this is a part of his we'll call it the golden trilogy, which is Das Boot, Never Ending Story, and Enemy Mine. And he goes back, he stumbles with Shattered, 1991. We talked about that, the neo-noir film noir movie. It's still commendable in so many ways, but he, legit, outside of Shattered, his entire career is a perfect run. No one has that. It's unbelievable. AKA Patters, we're going to wrap up for now Wolfgang Petersen with episode 485. We're going to talk Poseidon And I'm resisting doing a Poseidon deep dive because I'm so fascinated with that. A lot of people forget Poseidon, a legit film franchise. Rocking and rolling. Peter A. DeLuca here, signing out. Don't forget to go to akapad.com, sign up for some free Wolfpack trading cards. I love you, folks. Goodbye.